Hey, well, my unsung majority. Welcome back to level writing. We're at level 4. I am Nostamos, and we're talking about character behavior. This mostly comes down to age. I'm diving into this. We're bringing this up to age. So depending on how old you are, you have different things you're going to be doing. We're extrapolating this to D&D. Now, to each his own. We all have our own ideals, traits, bonds, and flaws, but that's everybody. And this mostly comes down to children. This mostly comes down to children because children are like attached to their parents. They don't have full control of the volume of their voice. Um, Stuff like that. And it's so easy to write kids, so I mentioned Bolto in another part. I was mentioning how kids can be really an effective tool, so we're going to go with D&D and Bolto. So we're going to go with Bolto first. With Bolto, the children were suffocating. And let's change the scenario and say, let's keep the scenario. Bleh. Let's keep the scenario with the little girl, with Rosie. Let's keep that in. This is the movie Bolto, by the way, the first one. In that one, the children were suffocating. And the only one who showed any level of love to Bolto was Rosie. If we extrapolate that, most kids... suffocating and are rescued by a dog are more likely to give it emotional support. The real thing here is that kids respond physically and emotionally to different things. It depends on the character. The key factor I want to bring to you guys, it's to each his own. We're going to go into D&D real quick. So, my DM, my DM in our Grim Hollow campaign, we recruited a child, and I'm this child's like surrogate father, kinda, whatever, legally speaking. We did a whole trial thing, and there was for another purpose. It's to establish that the kid can forgive the ogre paladin, and as well me legally binding myself to the kid to be his guardian. As we basically had this kid pan around with us because we didn't really know what the hell to do with this kid. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll train him. I think not 100% certain about that, but my DM in our Grimhall campaign doesn't know how to do kids. So this kid, right? So let me describe this clown. This kid is Noish. I named him after the pet in Tales of Symphonia because I thought it would have been cute to have this be my cute little Noish. Um, so this boy, this child. So our first mission, right? We went to this child's uh uh was it desecrated? It was like ransacked. Don't know. It wasn't ransacked. It was like empty. This child's family's farmhouse house. Um, we find the remaining members of the family dead. My character is also a paladin. We're all paladins in this one, by the way. Well, I'm actually a warlock. I go paladin at like level 5. I'm technically not a paladin yet, but it still counts because I'm technically going paladin. So, what am I trying to get at? So, while we're at this kid's house, the what's it called? The the cannibal cows like show up and we have to fight. Two of them show up. Two cannibal cows show up and fight. Let's see. They're both half-orcs. I might have to. What's his name? So I'm gonna change their names completely. So Arturo and I am Arturo. I'll be Bruno for this one, and then we have Magazine for the other orc. There's 3 of us at this point. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Arturo, Bruno, and Magazine. This is us. I'm Bruno. Arturo's the Paladin of Virtue or something, and Magazine's the Plague Paladin. So it's Arturo and I on one. We don't know what is happening to the second cow. What Magazine was doing, he was trying to buy us time. He fed the dead corpses of the family to the cannibal cows. He fed the dead corpses of this kid's family to the cannibal cow. Like, there was like one other cannibal cow, and we fought the second one in the top corner of the map. This child was in the distance and saw it. And he's like, oh, I'll kill you guys. Initially, the kid was blaming Bruno and Arturo No, he was blaming me and especially magazine um for the feeding of his parents. He blamed me for it included, so he treated me with scorn. I'm telling my DM, dude, I I could not have done anything. I was with Arturo. I was literally with Arturo fighting that second one. It wasn't until afterwards that we killed it. So this kid should not really be treating me with scorn, and he should be treating me with like meh. However, so I'm trying to not really win the kid over. I'm being nice to the kid after taking him after taking English in. And English has been a great help, by the way. He's been really good. Taking Noah Shane, Bruno, me. Uh, I decide to try and help him be happy by buying things for him and have him sit next to me during uh the gala. I kid you not. Like, I was doing all these things for this kid, he wasn't treating me properly until after I told my DM this. My DM doesn't know how to be a child. My DM doesn't know to write children. They become angsty teens. And I'm like, that's not how you write a child. You write them with a bit of whimsy and a bit of needing a parent. So, one thing I wanted to do was become this kid's official guardian. That required me to go to court, so two birds, one stone. I become the kid's surrogate father figure, a guardian of sorts, etc. And magazine gets sentenced to community service. Two birds, one stone, done. Problem. I wanted to do a nice thing for Noise, so Bruno wants to do something nice for Noise. I give him my goggles of the eagle, I guess. This is after we hit like level 7 or something. This was after we level 8. I kid you not, you know what I did? So after I give him that, it was his birthday. Just to make me happy, it so happens that, for whatever reason, this is his birthday. I wanted to do a whole birthday celebration and we'd have an RP level up. Did not happen. Point being that that there's supposed to be a little bit of a like a baseline for being a kid. Being a kid is a few things. One, being super cute and energetic. And then the other one is knowing when to like forgive or knowing who to forgive. And like having that sense of right and wrong. Like that sense of right and wrong slash who wronged me kind of thing. It's kind of like that, where behavior consistency, I'm guessing we can. Behavior consistency. Or, oh, what's it? No, no, no. Behavior, not consistency. You need to make it become consistent. It's behavior, no. Behavior baseline. In other words, you need to conjure what a baseline is for a child and then kind of extrapolate that to other kids and have other kids behave naturally. Kids are curious, they're hyper energetic, they're all over the place, and most adults can't keep up. Funny thing is, I can keep up. I can. So, with this, having ideals, traits, bonds, and flaws when designing a child character works. Um, and then you extrapolate that to different ages. You consider that for other things. The core I'm trying to instill in everybody here, it's that you kind of need to know this before going in, because not every kid's a bully. Not every child's a bully. If a child is a bully, they're probably trying to be funny about it. If not, and they're being a bully to an adult, if you are being bullied, you should tell someone about it, like your superior or whatever. Just like, hey, this kid, they keep calling me shit and I don't like it. Whatever. And if it's like, well, I don't like kids, it's like, well, then don't put kids in your game. Adults are a little more easier to talk with. So as you get along, a lot of kids, especially in fantasy, like depending on race, they kind of behave in a similar way. Like a human kid and a dwarf kid, they're gonna hit it off pretty quickly. Even though dwarves are like, oh, we don't really know them very well. It's like, well, no, the kids are optimistic. Let them play. Let the kids play. They don't need to be on an adventure yet. They need to learn to be an adventurer. Have them take basketball or whatever. It's kind of neat. Let them have fun. Let a kid be a kid. Play basketball. Do something. Be energetic. Let them give them something to do. Don't just let them be a stick in the mud. If they are being a stick in the mud, you need to find that person and get them involved. Because it beats sitting on your ass and doing nothing. Just saw that. Um, so that's for like writing kids and basically having them behave. Of course, kids make mistakes and they're supposed to make mistakes. That's what being a kid is. Never be afraid to fail as a child. Learn this if you're an adult. Let the kid like express themselves. In fact, one thing I'm doing, and this was just a me thing I did in my very first book, I wrote it as the main character talks, but when they're talking or like describing stuff, they're speaking it in their head. So when they meet a character, the character goes, so this is like their thought. So unless the name is dropped, insert the name. So this is how I wrote it for my 12-year-old protagonist. Uh, he was like, Like, you gotta keep in mind the vocabulary too. So this is how like we're doing this. So this is like, and like they would know like feet and inches if they're like 8 or 10. So she's like, well, she's like she's like 4'5". Weighs about 121 pounds. Looks to be my age. Like they talk like this. Um, her hair black, her eyes brown. She looks like this. This is her height. This is her weight. Uh, she she wears the school uniform, or she wears a light blue light blue cannotier. A light blue black cannotier and 3/4 jean pants. Like, let them talk like this. Um, I noticed the outline of a pink wrap of by her shoulders as she walked by me and sat in the desk behind me. Like, stuff like that. What does all this mean? This is how a child reads a person. They don't know what hazel as a color is unless they're taught it. Say this character doesn't know what the word hazel is. Well, they're gonna say it's a brownish color. Mom says, like, it's like brownish, Her hair is black, so. Also, I capitalized color. Um, Stuff like this. This is like how, like, children talk and act, and then, like, as they get older, they start to describe things with a little more reverence. Like, you turn, 16, 18, and all of a sudden you're talking like, yeah, my girlfriend's great. Stuff like that. You start to be more fast and loose with what you're talking about. What else do I want to add? D&D, Bolto. But yeah, I like when if the main character is really young, have them describe shit to the reader. It's really cute, and it's like a pseudo fourth wall break. And have them try and explain things, but like it's very childish. Like, say this kid had a superpower. Like, how would they describe it? You're thinking like, oh, it's this, but you're thinking like you're an adult. Like, oh, it's so simple. This is the superpower. It's like magic words plus this. It's like, oh, I say these funky words, and now all of a sudden, my friend's on fire. Or I say the following phrase and it works. Like, how does a kid explain magic? Um, how do they Or like have them describe stuff, ask questions. Kids are curious and energetic. Like, it's so good. Like, I mentioned this before. I play a guy called Quincy Puck in one of my campaigns. The the guy literally helps the orphanage with the children. He's basically their PE instructor, and like one of the PCs approaches him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, do you know this, that, and everything?" And then like they start talking. They have a little bit of a dialogue, and then he leaves, and he leaves. The PC leaves saying, "Oh, hey, don't afraid to go easy on these kids." And he's like, "I always do," stuff like that. He talks a lot like this. The point I'm trying to get at here is that you need to bend the rules a bit for the kids. They need to describe what's in front of them, but it's not layman's terms. It's explaining it to a rubber duck. From your adult brain, explain explain what you're on about to a duck. Be pragmatic. Explain it to a duck in as simple words as possible. And what I mean by this is if they don't know the color, the specific color, because I don't have brown eyes, I have hazel eyes, well, they're going to say brownish color. Heck, for the longest time, the sky was red. We didn't know what the color blue was. So there's that. Yeah. With that, I think I'm just about done. Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed about that. So idealist trade spawns and I'm gonna go over this one more time. So idealist trade spawns and flaws are the building blocks of any character. Building a child is how they talk, how they portray themselves, who they're with, and how they describe things. Also, high energy. Or low energy if they're sick. Like, and if they're sick and they rely on their parents, you start to really get emotional. That's how that's how you bend the reader to your will. How you get them attached to like a character. A little kid is kind of dying right now, and they're just asking their parents to help them get better. And the parents can't do much until something happens. That's kind of how you build that scenario. Otherwise, the kid should be happy and be optimistic. That should be your child. After that, you just extrapolate it normally. Till next time. Okay? Ciao.